Welcome back, guys, to Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations, where last episode we found out the capabilities of Kay's secret weapon as Little Bird recreated the crime scene for us to examine. After moving the pieces of it around to fit a likely scenario with footprints located by Emma to lead us to a costume conclusion, Agent Lang appeared to argue with us once again. However, he appeared too soon, as one piece of evidence still had to be moved, with the shooter and victim's position switched to provide the gunshot angle, and now with Officer Meakin's involvement in doubt, Shi-Long Lang has thrown us out from the scene once again. We now end up in the Wild Wild West area by the look of things. Looks like we got the boot again. We did indeed, just when the blooming kidnapped victim suddenly appeared too. When Lan's safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy! Tell me it's true. Tell me that you've really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Romano, we found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt. He is not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. It must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Nice tat. No one's going to say anything more? They're just going to cry for a bit? Let's talk about Lance Romano. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say, I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? What's in the letter? Ah, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know. Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? It's a very simple love letter. My dear Lance Romano, may I come see you again? Your beloved Viola. The Tender Lender Loan Company. Is the letterhead, though? Oh, hey, let me see. Oh, that's really weird. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks like a collection bill to me. Yes. Looks like a threat with all those ink blotches. Not a love letter. Okay, do we do anything more with you? Or do we just talk to you? You're crying very muchly. Lance Romano! He loves me! He loves me not! He loves me! He loves me not! Oh, that's the 12th one! No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose, if they were me, then... Oh. I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either? I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Ah, it's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Romano, and so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud! I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. Oh, they're childhood friends, don't you know, Edgeworth? So your father was an employee of the Romano Group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknowns. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long. I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to meet ever again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live! So, about the case? About this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How do you come to know that Lance's been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition. You based everything on that? I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny. She started fantasizing again. So what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? That is the question. We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. The isolation room? The crime scene? Well, we can't go there. Let's go into the area we couldn't go. That makes more sense. The Kidnappers Hideout. The obvious location of the Kidnappers Hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there was no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. Sure, Mr. Blue, or it looks like there's a weird, like, hand crawling out of that guy's thing rather than a cat's tail. If you know what I mean, with the finger wiggling. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me to personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? The man in this picture. Is this Mr. Oliver Deacon? Shall we read this? Colin Debray, male. Dominant hand, right. Whereas known after his escape from Penny-Dent prison. Penitentiary kind of one. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for his... But then we don't know what the rest is. Wife and daughter. The name here says Colin Debray. The same name as the one on the back of the pendant. But despite our surveillance, he's yet to show up at his wife's and doors. It appears that Colin Debray was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? Then what was he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Alright, Colin Debray dossier has been jotted down. Now, I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? Well, we already know it. These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. Already kind of did. It's fine. Let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the Kidnappers Hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. So he literally contaminated the crime scene in a sense? I don't know. Did he? So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. I were tied up for a while in the room next door. Okay, please. Must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. And so we start our search. Let's look at the broken door handle first. What do we hear? Oh no. Ah! Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Because your head is harder than you'd think, even though you keep ending up unconscious in this game thus far. The broken prop sword found lying next to the door, broken cleanly in half. Ah, see, logic is mightier than weapons. Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. It was your bonce. This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Oh, really? We get like an image here. That doorknob handle thing is looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Not a single dent. But how is that possible after what that officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? Well, I think the answer is very obvious. So, the door was never locked. There was no key that locked it. The sword was jammed in. It didn't break on your head. Your head is not stronger than a sword. Good deduction there. Alright, well, we can logic those two together now, I'm pretty sure. It was wedged. The broken prop sword was wedged into there. I'm really bad at hitting that button. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone could see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said it took 10 men to get it open. And all that was locked tight despite it not being locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Yeah, the funny thing about this is, like... If they were trying to ram their way in, then there was nothing to actually jam the handle against, was there? I guess it was more of like an up-down, but it looks like it's actually come off and it was just a pull rather than like a handle that you move up and down. So I don't even understand how that was actually wedged. I guess it must have opened outward. Yes, that's the one. But it really kind of doesn't look like that. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? So that's how the sword broke. The broken prop sword data is jotted down in my organizer. I mean, we can't see the hinges. So you'd have to assume the hinges were on the other side then. Which means it opens outwards. But for some reason that door looks so flush. It looks really secure. Oh, they have barrels like these just outside. Yes, and... Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but... These were real. What would you put in them? There's an expectant gleam in her eyes and I'm about to dash. Are we? Well, let's go down here. The panel that hid the entrance to the underground is propped up and wide open. Be careful where you step, Kay. I only fell into that other opening once, you know. We're not actually allowed down. So the interesting point was the sword, etc. Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? But we've already figured that out. Ah! Fool! I just thought maybe with a different screen, it might give us some different text. Nice, we got a bit of logic from that. Let's look in here. This would be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes. Yes, why don't we look at that costume that seems to literally be in frame? Just about. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. In the hideout, there is a trash bin for old and useless costumes. I need the trash bin! Let me get it out! Trading post, eh? Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you. Must you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your awesome face. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. There's a lot of coffee out here. DNA evidence? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Well, I guess we look at the keys. I wonder what this key is too. Ah, you got me. It reminds me of the key we found in the other room. Also, just to point out, so why did someone need to escape through the thing when all they had to do was remove the sword if it opened outwards? And it was unlocked. It reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it! This must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I'm not having this conversation with you. I felt like I should get that as evidence, to be honest. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. They were on top of the table. The coffee looks like it was poured today. 3 cups. Hinting at 3 people. Oh, new chairs. By the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. 3 chairs, 3 cups. I'm guessing we're just linking those 2 things. Can't even check the photo rally board. The poster of Gate Waterland is stuck on this wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gate Waterland has it all and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? Nah. What about this broken mirror then? Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? Photo rally bit? A sign advertising the photo rally. Something I have absolutely no interest in. Yeah, but I do, and I'm going to get my hands on the rest of the Badger family. You'll see. She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to a crime investigation. Anything else to look at? Doesn't really look like it at the moment, does it? So I guess we link those two pieces of stuff. The rule of 3. They're linked by a number, so here we go. The common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible there is a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. Ah! What is it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? What are you doing suddenly popping out the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first and then we'll talk, okay? Beg your pardon, miss. Who's in this one? Photo Badger, get! Alright, only one more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh. See, look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the bad badger and I'm done. Oh yes, I vaguely recall the contest or something of that sort. What? It's gone! But where did it go? What happened? What's wrong? A bad badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. Tell me more! What do you mean by a bad badger costume is missing? Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 bad badger short. Count the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all time. Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the bad badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's a stage show where the bad badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. And doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the bad badger? Personally, I can't believe this close to showtime there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. And are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I mean, the fact that this one wasn't stolen? I didn't even know, actually, because, you know, we did 2 bad badgers and then 2 here. I mean, that's fine. We know there's a lady badger active. We know there's, like, these 4, there's these 2 active, because we can see the other one right now. So, I mean, it's gotta be the lady badger, but... Take that! We had 4 people and you would want to steal a 4th costume. I guess, yeah, but we know they took 2 bad badges by the look of it, so that doesn't... What? Wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another bad badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 bad badger costumes, but the question is why? A forced-stolen costume by the three-person kidnapping group. Where's the other costume? Alright, so we've got that. Because one of them is in that thing over there. I guess one costume had become useless then, according to costume pieces. I just want to check it for blood inside it. A second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. Huh? What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right! Let's get out of there and take a look! As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. I want to check the inside, but the obvious thing for me to check is this. Look, its hand is hurt! It looks more like something was ripped off of it. Like a fake gun does it carry? Like, what can be taken from it? What can we find out? Check! Yeah, he has a fake gun. So I'm guessing we're going to deduce and use that to prove it. I mean, it's very obvious that he has it without me even knowing, but still. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? It is! We can prove there was something supposed to be there. I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there! Did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is of course not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. Seems that our kidnapper also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Right, so the missing model gun that fires blanks. Which then could account for the sound of a gunshot. A bit of theatre. Another investigation complete. Is someone going to show up now? I think we're about done with this room. So what's next? Well, we found a few answers. But there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. Who are we asking? March 13th at 3:34 p.m. in the Wild Wild West area. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Gotta hurry, sir. Come on! What is it, detective? We found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo! That's why you've got to come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we still might be able to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Right, off we go then. And let's move on straight away. No cliffhanger this time. We're going to find out what we're going to see. Alright, at the main gate, we find a costume. What's with the blue bollards? Blue bottom bollards. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the mountain fountain, sir. Mountain fountain. Wow. I'm all afluster again. Ah! Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Now let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Well, the most suspicious thing is bang! What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there. Yeah, I thought thought you were going to bump in earlier to steal all our gathering. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Ah! Better, nah? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Lauren D. Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly, I can't believe you're one of my kidnappers. Lance! You're kidding. Miss Pauls was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pauls is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey guys, case closed. Get a car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady. Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pauls is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Yeah. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pauls, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it! Thanks for the confession. Objection! Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pauls. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Evil deeds, you say? Are they? Did they? Really? Let's see Miss Pauls' confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that he could get rich, or we could get rich, by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. I don't believe that to be anywhere near true. There, are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pauls, is what you said really the truth? Yes it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there is something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. Miss Pauls' confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. Hold it! How well did you know the victim? I've spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house. A few times? That's it? Yeah. If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other. But if you hardly ever talk, then how could he trust you not to see this plan? That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning, which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Shih-na? Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming. Yeah, right. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Hold it! You knew? How did you know something like that? Oh no, what should I do? Okay, what's wrong with her now? Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way? No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy. Don't cut your hair off. Or maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare. Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Porps, let's continue with your testimony. Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Hold it! Why did you believe that? Anyone who knows Mr. Romano would think the same. I bet Lance is that old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be to a doting father like Mr. Romano. I always figured that was it too, and I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's... I got this pendant from my father. And I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. Dun, dun, dun. He welcomed me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus. That pendant. She must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money... Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself? Well, first we captured Lance. Oh, how did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah, and here I thought you knew how to steal people away. I shudder to think what you would do with such knowledge. Sorry, I really don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but... Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me! Hold it! Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Porps? Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Porps from the very beginning. Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I probably should, yes. Because we know exactly what's going on with this. We know exactly where this is going. But of course, we'll raise this objection. Because I've now seen the time. The next time on Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations. I'll see you guys then as we raise this objection and show the exact link of why he would not do that. Bye-bye.